Hi, everybody. It's NAYONFIYA, and today on the hot seat with NAYONFIYA, we have an amazing new member of our residency. I was able to go to Pan Ams with her and experience Pan Ams for the first time for myself and also with her. At Pan Am, she did an amazing job. She proved why she deserves to be a resident right now at the moment. I'm super excited for what she is going to accomplish as a new resident. I'm super excited to be able to help her get to the level that she wants to reach, and also super excited to learn more about her today and allow you guys to do the same. So, with no further ado, we have Ari Ramsey. And funny fact, I was talking to Jazz one day, and she was like, "Oh, I was calling you Ari," and she's like, she hates that. She's like, can't stand that. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna make sure I always call her by the right name. So that's kind of the thing that is always on my mind anytime I think about you is just calling you by your right name, which is very important that you correct people because that's your name. You want people to call you your right name. You don't want to give them any slack with that. So kudos to you on that because I heard some stories. But Ari, introduce yourself, say hi to the audience.
Hey guys, I'm Ari Ramsey. Everybody calls me Ari, I guess because Ariana is like the natural way to say the name, but for me
Yeah,
it's yeah. So yeah, I play rugby at Dartmouth. I just moved in to Chula Vista, so I'll be there for the rest of the year. So yeah, that's about it.
nice. Okay, so I don't know if you've watched the hot seat before, but one of the things we start off with, just to know some quick things about you, is the big top five. So with the big top five, you'll tell us five things that you think everybody should know about you if they could only know five things. So what is five things that people need to know about Ari Ramsey?
Okay. One thing is I used to cheer for 6 years, so I know how to do like flips and stuff. I haven't done it in a while, but I can still like do a little bit. Second fact is I have two sisters and a brother. My third fact is hmm, I don't like the cold. I don't like cold places at all. I'd rather be boiling hot than freezing cold. Uh,
Same.
or I what do I love to do? I guess fun fact about rugby is I found it. Oh, okay, I found rugby in high school and I started in 10th grade, so that's kind of fun. And fifth, my favorite color is pink.
That's one of my favorite colors too. So that's five things to know about Ari. Did you ever think about like after the Navarro cheerleading Netflix series came out, did it make you miss cheering?
Yes, I miss it so much. I still miss it to this day. I'm like, why did I stop? But cheering wasn't going to get me to college, so that's why I stopped.
I don't know if that's true.
So, like I thought it wouldn't back then, but then I realized it could have. So I just stopped.
Yeah. I guess you picked a good sport.
Yeah.
A good replacement. I feel like we all did. Because we all like started with different sports opposite of rugby before we got into rugby.
Yeah.
So next we're gonna go into what we call is like the base questions. And normally I would ask you three questions, but just because I don't know so much about you, and I'm sure people are very interested in getting to know you more because you are new on the scene for the most part, I'm going to ask you five questions, if that's okay with you. So the first question that I wanted to ask you is kind of, you already spoke on it a little bit, but how did you find rugby and what was the path like from 10th grade to getting to the pro level?
So one of my like at my school they would set up like different tables for all types of clubs and stuff in the cafeteria. So then I just signed up at the table, and then one of my best friends was like, "Come out, like let's just go to the practice," because I wasn't going to go. So then she brought me to the practice. So much fun, and I was like, "Whoa, this is like actually a sport." It was like reminded me of capture the flag. So I was like, okay, this is fun. So I kept going, and then the coach was really interested, and he was like, so I want to like take me to this team called Atlantis. So that's when I started to play for Atlantis. And then from there, I went to Utah, I went to Paris, and those are the big games that I can think of. Like I've played in like those other like tournaments and stuff like that. And then I visited, then I started getting calls for like the sport itself. Like my coach started telling me like you can go to college for the sport, and I was like, okay. So he took me to different colleges and we visited. Um, and then I chose Dartmouth. Yeah.
Nice.
Been playing from then.
Okay, so the path was it more like recommendation, or you kind of knew like I need to do this, 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 and it'll get me here?
I think my high school coach pretty much told me everything I needed to do. Like he guided
Mm,
me through the whole entire process, like from high school literally to college. So that was
yeah. And that's one of the impressive things I've seen because I didn't start rugby until college. So for people like you and Nia who started in high school, and Nia's high school is predominantly black. I don't know if your high school
mm-mm.
it was predominantly white.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because even my high school had a rugby team, and it was a predominantly black school, which was very surprising, just based on the stereotype for rugby to be in those type of schools. So it's amazing to see that you've been able to start at a young age and travel a lot already. Because like for a lot of us, we didn't start getting that experience until we got to the pro level of being able to travel the world and play rugby. So that is awesome. And hopefully, like, say it again.
Rugby's growing then.
I
I love it.
know. I know. So that's what I was saying. Like, hopefully, this is more like people like you and Nia are more common where you're starting a lot younger as female African American rugby players.
Hmm.
So my next question for you is: you said you went to Dartmouth, and that's a D1. You got a D1 rugby scholarship there,
Yeah.
which was basically like unheard of for me coming up. Like, I don't, I don't think I even thought to look into it
Hmm.
to even know if that was something that was possible. But now, like, you have probably four D1 rugby scholarship available schools. So for Dartmouth, what was that college experience like? How long were you there? How was the coaching? And were you able to travel? And like, what was that whole experience like? Because a lot of us listening on, we weren't able to have a D1 experience. A lot of us, it was just club.
Hmm. Yeah,
Mm.
I love it. I think it's at Dartmouth, I would say rugby. It's where so there's a guys team and a girls team, and the girls is varsity, the guys are still club. So I think that's really cool. I feel like it like definitely grounds us at the school itself. So the fact that it's varsity at Dartmouth like really makes the sport stand out. So I think that's a big part of that. As far as like training, I think it it's intense as it should be. Um,
Mhm.
I mean, not as intense as USA, of course, but it's at a pretty good level. The coaches, Dowdy is like the best coach I've ever had. She's super nice, understanding, and like still has that little strictness in her. A little, not really, but kind of.
You need it. We all do.
Um, but as far as my experience there, I think, and I also love the culture at Dartmouth. I feel like the fact that it's D1 and we're varsity and we all play rugby and like a lot of people who we also have that like the walk on plus the people who recruited experience. So I think that's also something that is very different having like pretty much half walk ons, half recruited athletes. So it's like us coming together and like we still have to be able to teach like the walk ons and then they're watching us and they're looking up to us. So I think it's really cool.
Do you, in terms of walk-ons, is it pretty hard to make the team, or is it kind of like club level where as long as you show up, you're gonna make it? Do they ever turn anybody down at
Yeah.
the? Okay,
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like easy to get on, but yeah,
yeah.
she's actually way more strict than I thought. So that's good. That's good in my opinion.
Okay. And it's very surprising that you say the female side is varsity and the male is club. Do you know why that is?
I have no idea. I'm not sure. I think it has something with the guys don't want to like. I think they want to keep the club because they can do more and be. They don't have to be as professional. Club.
Yeah, but they don't get scholarships on the club side, correct?
No,
Okay,
they're
that's
probably
awesome.
likely. They could probably like get a suggestion, something little, but I don't think it's like as big as like a scholarship.
Hmm. And did you have any other D1 rugby scholarship options?
Yeah, Penn State, West Point, Westchester, Quinnipiac, and yeah, just those four, I would say.
Did Okay. Did you hear anything from Lindenwood or Life? Because I know those are two other big rugby schools.
Yeah, Lindenwood was the first school to ever offer me, like when I was in high school, they were like right there in Utah, like handing me the papers, and I was like, Missouri? I don't think so. Wait, is it? I was like, whatever state it was in, I was just like, no. I also didn't know anything about the school, so
Mhm.
yeah, I ended up going there. Penn State was my main school that I really wanted to go to, but they weren't like off. Dartmouth offered a way better scholarship financially, so I was like, definitely Dartmouth, I believe, why not? So that's why I picked Dartmouth.
Nice. Okay, so my next question for you was, now that you've made it from 10th grade to Dartmouth to the pro level, has there been any reality checks for you in the last 4 weeks?
Yes, I not as good as I thought I was. Like good, but oh
It's
my
hard.
god, humble. Absolutely been humble. It's really intense. When I like the first few weeks, I was dying. I was like, I don't even think I want to do this anymore.
We've all been there, so that's not a bad feeling at all.
I was like texting everybody. I'm like, guys, I don't think I was like I could do it. But then like week two, week three, it was just like completely different. I was like, okay, the team, getting to know the team, we're getting closer, and I'm not dying as much because I went through the first week. So first 2 weeks. So it definitely got better. It's way better now. So I
Yeah.
just love in Cali with the. I also like living in the house with the teammates. I think
Hmm.
that's like so. Yeah, loving it now.
Yeah. If you had to pick one thing, what would be the biggest reality check you had?
Um, that I actually have to work harder than I've been working. Like at
Hmm.
Dartmouth, I feel like my coaches and teammates probably noticed it. I probably wasn't like giving it my all, but now I feel like I have to at this point.
Yeah, hit it to another level.
Hmm.
Especially when you're like a wing and you're technically your job is to catch and run, but when you get to that higher level at sevens, like you have to be able to do everything because
Exactly.
you never know where you're going to end up on the field. So it is a very um, quick and stressful and pressure filled learning growth where you're going from here to here,
Yeah.
you know, and you have your teammates around you who have been there for a while and have these expectations.
Hmm.
So you have to be able to balance the expectations of your coach and also where you've come from, which is something that I feel like the US as a whole in the sport of rugby has to work on, is that learning scale of right now from high school to college to pro, it's like this, but it needs to be like this.
Yeah. I
So
totally.
yeah, because I think we've all been where you've been, and me especially, of thinking I'm the hot shit in college and then getting there and being like, I am exhausted. Because it's tiring and you have to learn how to pass. You have to learn how to make decisions based on what's in front of you. There's a lot of things that you have to learn when you get to the pro level that you should already know.
Right.
But that's not the case with rugby in the US right now. It's definitely grown a lot with the multiple D1 schools we have taking up the sport and the rugby academies and camps and such. But back then, and obviously we see now with you, like it's still something that we have to continue working on so that that jump from college to pro isn't so extreme
Right.
and doesn't make you second guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. So my next question for you, I talked about the Pan Ams and how we experienced that for the first time together. What was that experience like for you?
Nerve-wracking. I was like, for me, for big games like that, I am nervous from the time we are driving to the place to warm-ups, walking to warm-ups. I'm just like nervous. And then once I like get on the field, it's like, okay. But I definitely felt out of place because I was so young and you guys were like pro. So I was like, okay, I wouldn't even mind if I just watched you guys play on the sideline.
Yeah.
But then when she put me in, I was like, it was just like, I feel like the Canada game was just what got me. I was like, I was frazzled that whole entire game. The rest of the games, I felt like everything was in control. But then, like, once we played against Canada, I was just like all over the place. And I don't
Yeah.
know, just got like nervous because I knew the girl on the other side. So I was like, oh, yeah, you remember. It was just scary. And I was like, okay, I actually have to be able to adjust and be able to adapt. Like the game just seemed much quicker than
Yeah.
of them. So I think that was the main memory I had from Peru was just being super nervous in that kind of game, and then picking up the pace. It was it's pretty
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel it went too. Like it was um the level increased as the
And,
tournament went on,
yeah,
which is kind of how it is on the big scale, like where we are now. So I guess it's like good practice because I say you did extremely well out there. Like your actions were the opposite of how you expressed how you were feeling about being nervous and all over the place, where you went out there and you did what you were great at. And that's one of the most important things being at this level is never forgetting what you're great at. So as long as you keep that in mind, but also continue to add new skills, improve on skills that you already have, but always remember why you got here in the first place
mm-hmm.
for your speed and your power. You last a long time.
Yay.
Yeah. So my last question for you for the base questions, I'm all about building your brand and like working on hobbies outside of rugby and second income. So I don't know if it's exactly a clothing line or exactly what it is that you have. If you want to give some insight on exactly what you do on your Instagram and outside of rugby.
Yeah. Started. I started in 2018. It started as a shoe company. I had this whole thing in my mind, like I wanted to start doing sneakers and sandals and boots and stuff like that. But it just started to change over time, over the years. It started to go towards like clothes. Basically, it's just like a blingy company, blingy everything, blingy clothes, blingy shoes, blingy masks, blingy bags. So it's like a boutique style. It's pretty cute. But I'm like, I don't know how I feel about it these days, honestly. I'm thinking about moving to like trying to do more fitness, maybe an athletic brand, something like that. But I'm also really in love with Nike, so I'm like kind of stuck between like, do I want to start my own brand or just buy more Nike? So I'm still trying to like, I'm definitely an entrepreneur. I want to start something, but I'm not sure exactly what it is. Like I can still
Yeah.
find, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a start. I think as I've grown in the sport, I've learned how important it is to have something outside of your sport,
Yeah.
something to coincide with your sport because you can only be an athlete for so long. So it's like, okay, once this is done, what's your plan? So entrepreneurship is very hot right now, which is great because I feel like everybody should own their business. So as much as you love Nike, as much as I love Nike, like you still got to make your coins on the outside of all of that because you can't buy Nike if you don't have no money.
Yeah.
So I would say like keep building on that. Don't definitely don't go the direction of just buying from the people who have created their own businesses. You can do both.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely think you should pursue both. Even if you don't know right now exactly what you want to do, I love the bling stuff. I thought the bathing suits and the sandals were very, very cute.
Thank
So I think that's something that you should continue working on, especially now going into your rugby career. The
you.
fans you bring from rugby can easily transfer to your personal business. So keep on doing that for
Okay.
sure. If you ever have any brand questions, please come ask me because that's a journey that I'm on right now that I think every athlete should be on. Whether you want to be quote unquote famous or you want to have some extra income to be able to live comfortably and do things outside of your sport that you can afford and still be comfortable after. So
Right.
if you ever have any questions about that, please let me know because that is what I am all about, building a brand outside. The first answer that comes out of your mouth will be your answer. So are you ready, Ari?
Yes.
Okay. So first question for the Speedster Round, who's your favorite artist right now?
Drake.
Nice. Good choice. Okay, next question. What's your favorite hobby outside of rugby?
Watching Netflix.
What are you watching right now?
Dreamy. I just
Who?
started dreaming. Dreamly. Have you
Dreamly?
heard? No, Dreamly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen that on it. Is it good?
It's good so far. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it. Good.
Okay. Next question. What's your fastest 40 that you know of?
This is 40. I would say I can't remember exactly, but I would say it's 5.1. I don't know. I don't even know how 40s work. I don't know. Five,
Okay.
five something.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, next question. Would you rather only be able to whisper for the rest of your life or only be able to shout?
Whisper.
Same. Okay, and last question. Who is the teammate that has been helping you out the most in the last 4 weeks block?
Alona Mare. Mare.
Mar, I think. Alona Mar.
Mar.
She's gonna kill
Wow.
you because you're like, call me Aries, not Ari. Then you're like, Alona Mare. How has she been helping you?
Just on the field in general. We've been running together. Lo has been helping me since like high school. She's like the first person I've talked to. Like when we were in the cafeterias eating, she would just come up to us. And yeah, on the field, she makes me run. She's always like, Ari, come run with me. I'm like, okay. Always
That's
making sure
awesome.
all the time.
Yeah. And that's one of the great things I've seen change over time being on this team is how everybody wants to help each other versus trying to like obviously we know it's a competitive environment, but when we're practicing and training, like the goal is to make yourself and your teammates better versus just yourself. Because
Right.
you can't have a great team if only you are good. You can't
Mm-hmm.
have a great team if only you know how to become better. So the team now for the past 3 years has been spreading the knowledge that you learn, which has been amazing to watch and to be around and to be a part of. But I just want to say thank you, Ari, so much for taking the time out of your week off vacation to chat with me and to allow people to get to know you better. If you can provide your any of your social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and I can put it at the bottom for you so that people can get in touch with you, get in touch with your future business and all that good stuff.
Yay. You can follow me on Instagram at Ariana the Athlete. And yeah, or you can follow my business page at Avalux Fashion.
It'll be right down here for you guys. Thank you so much, Ari. I hope you have a great rest of your week. I can't wait to see you on Monday for getting back to training and starting contact. That's going to be lovely. Thank you so much, Ari. Have a great day.
Bye.